And we are live. Hello, beautiful humans. It's a cuppa with Jen Squared. And I don't even have a cuppa today, but I do have my water. You have a
Well, that's
beautiful
a
cup.
cuppa. That's
And
the
I'll just
best
take a little
cuppa.
sip real quick. Mm.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, everyone. We are so happy to be with you. It's Jen Kohler and my very dear friend, Jennifer, over here. Jen, would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
It's Jen. I was going, it's Jen Kohler. And I was going, do I come in now and say, and Jen Dadigan?
Do we? Is that what we're going to do? I like it.
I will. We're just rolling with it. That felt good today. Hi, everybody. Jen here.
Well, do you want to introduce yourself real fast?
Should we introduce ourselves at each one?
Yeah,
Sure. I
I
am Jennifer. I am one of the team members of the co-op community, and I am a EFT tapping coach, and I also am a copywriter, content creator. I am a creatress, basically, all the ways. That is what I do.
You are such a creatrix, and you are a 3 of diamonds, just like me.
Yes.
For those of you who haven't watched us yet, we have twin birthdays and twin names and twin cards, and it's really fun. So this is our new show. This is our new podcast, and we are going to introduce ourselves probably for a little while before, so people can know who we are and remember who we are. But then eventually we'll get more professional, and then you'll just know who we are, and we'll have some sort of beautiful introduction. And for now, we're just taking action in the moment, which I think is really wonderful. We are not over planning these conversations. So when we come together, we're literally just, our energy is coming together, and we are channeling this information for you guys based upon our lives and based upon our own intuition and our own channel, and really honing that in. And that feels really powerful and really important to both of us. And so the way that we'd like to start this call is to actually just take some breaths together and kind of come into resonance with each other, with our higher selves. And so I invite you, if you're here on this call with us right now or on the replay, to just close your eyes for a moment. Good. And just start to come into the body. So this will feel really good to get nice and grounded into the body. And just allow yourself to set aside anything that you were doing or that you're going to, and just be present with this conversation, and just be curious about what might come through for you. And that is sort of our intention, is just to really come together in a really conscious, communal way and see what wants to come through. So I invite you to open up your crown chakra in this moment, right here, right now, and just know that any information that wants to come through for you is meant for you. And I invite you to also invite in your highest self, your essence, in through the crown chakra. So feeling that beautiful liquid light, however you feel this energy coming into your body, feeling it coming in through the crown and moving down into the forehead. Good. And moving down past that third eye, that brow space, down past the nose, and past the mouth, down through the jaw, down through the throat, and into the heart space. Feel your heart activating right now as you call this beautiful essence of you into your heart. For me, there was a little pickup of energy as my heart became activated with this beautiful energy that is all me. And good. And then you can just feel that essence of you spreading out through the rest of your body, spreading out into all of your cells, all of your organs, into your blood and your tissues, your skin. Feel it moving down through your channel, all the way down into the root, down into your legs, and down out the bottom of your feet. Feeling the essence of you moving up through your morphogenetic field, back to the top of your head. Good. And just feel source, the essence of you flowing through the top of your head. Again, feeling that energy activating in the heart space. Feeling that electromagnetic field of your heart. Feel the blood pumping through the body. Ah, so good. And whenever you're ready, just open your eyes again and come back into the space with us. And of course, I'll have to put on my glasses because now I can't see it all. Once I close my eyes, I just, there we
So
are.
good at that. That felt beautiful.
Good. I hope we feel grounded. We feel present. We are in the body, right? And Jen and I were talking before we got on this call, and we would love to invite you to comment here. This is really casual and just fun. If you have any questions or thoughts for us, we would love to hear about them. We're just going to kind of jam on some things that we were talking about before we got on this call. And I did this big reading. You guys know me. I love to do big readings, and I'm, do the numerology and the oracle cards and all of those things. And some of the threads that we pulled out after I showed Jen this whole reading were, I wrote down the words empath, sensitivity, creation mode, and you are the project. And these are all things that, of course, we talk about so frequently in our groups, in our community, and with our clients. And then, of course, with each other, because this is how we expand. This is how we evolve. This is how we grow, is by taking all of this beautiful spiritual information that is coming to us, through us, as us, and then bringing it to you. This is why we want to do this, right, Jen?
Yeah, and I see my beautiful heart Sophie is here. Sophie,
Yay! Thank you for being
also,
here.
I'm sure there's a few people watching, but I think with mine, I can only maybe see the people that I'm friends with specifically out. Maybe I don't know, but
I'm not
anyway.
sure. I'm not seeing any comments or
So
anything yet.
there's
So
5 people watching at this point, and I just want to
yay.
invite everybody and thank you for being here. And the other part of that, Jen, when you were saying that, what came through to me is just that how much we all have similar conversations,
Mhm.
similar downloads that we like to call it downloads or channeling.
Yeah.
And that it's very interconnected. The more we speak with one another, the
Mhm.
more I'm like, oh my gosh, Jen, there's another synchronicity. There's another one and another one.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my client yesterday about this very specific thing, or my mom or my sister. And the more we really get real with one another and allow ourselves to speak freely and openly and not be afraid of being heard, the more we start to recognize how much we have these similar messages coming through. And I
Agreed.
love hearing from everyone, people that are watching one another, like my colleagues, my clients. I love hearing, what are you hearing? What is coming through for you on this topic?
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's at the same time. It's like, oh, I know like 5 other people that are talking about the same thing because we're all connected in this energy, right?
Well, it's that universal energy. It's that oneness that we share. It's that hive mind, right? There is a bit of this hive mind, I think, that we all share. And of course, like the interwebs, right? Like we're here on this interconnected highway, and there are billions of conversations happening. And of course, they're all moving through us, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There
And
are
it's exciting.
conversations, there are words, there are thoughts, there are ideas, there's money, like all of it is just flowing through us all of the time. So I'm going to just let's start with the first word on my list, which was empath. And I know that I had a conversation in our group, Thrive and Prosper, yesterday about being an empath. And a lot of times I don't speak up or speak my truth because I think, oh, everybody already knows that. And then I remember, okay, stop. That's not true. Some people have not been doing this as long as me. I just never want anyone to think I'm like over explaining something that they already know about. But
This
What
is why Jen and I are Jen squared, because literally, sorry to
we're
interrupt.
the same thing.
Everything she says, I giggle a little because it's so true for me as well. I don't want to
Right.
over-explain myself. Everybody already knows what I have to say. What this, these are the things we tell ourselves.
But
Please,
it's not true,
right.
because there's lots of people who do need to hear what we have to say, and we hope that you are some of those people. If you're listening right now, we would love to hear what you think about this. What does the word empath mean to you? And I have identified as a highly sensitive person, and as an empath for really all of my life. I mean, I've always considered myself to be highly intuitive, really sensitive, like so sensitive. My family, I was the classic, oh, you're so sensitive. Like everyone would always say that to me. I cried frequently, right? Like I was really sensitive. Um Physically, emotionally, right? You too, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I'm just like loving you because we would
Yeah.
have been besties.
Right. And it's like this feeling of that feeling of being highly sensitive.
Mhm.
And I can recognize now in my family, my dad is very highly sensitive. And it didn't show up as like I'm sad or like I'm crying. It showed up as anger. It actually showed up in an angry way because he didn't know how to manage it, but he's a very highly sensitive human. And
That's
like
such a good, sorry, that's just such a good point, is that when it comes out in different formats, when it comes out in different ways, we don't always recognize it as the same thing.
right.
And oftentimes, the triggering each other in the family is because we're mirroring each other so much.
Mm,
And the way that we react and respond is different. And so it's hard to connect. But
yeah.
it's the same, it's from the same experience. I mean, not the same experience, but the same uh, reason, I guess.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't know that I have the right exact word for it either, but I think that my dad and I are so similar, but I saw us as so different
Yeah,
because he was like mad and I was sad and like, you know,
exactly.
and now I can see so clearly that really we were coming from the same experience. And so high sensitivity, right? And then we have the empath. And I think that the conversation about the empath is so interesting. I also highly identify as an empath. And I like now to call it the unhealed empath or the healed empath, right? So, as an unhealed empath, I would walk into a coffee shop, I would read the newspaper and sob uncontrollably. I I picked up every emotion from everybody and I didn't know what was mine and what was not mine. Do you resonate?
Oh, yeah, just a little bit. 100%. Just a little bit, 100%.
Just a little tiny percent, but all
Yeah.
100%, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So when I started doing, when I started doing personal growth work and I started really paying attention to energetic boundaries, I was like, what? What are boundaries? And what is an energetic boundary? And what does that even mean? And so I
Mm.
started doing things that were very energetic at first. And I really started to pay attention to having that bubble of peace around my body and sort of protecting myself because otherwise I just took everybody's stuff on. And when I went through massage therapy school, they were like, don't do that. When you touch a client, make sure you've got your little bubble of peace around your body. And I started to feel so much better. And I know you went through massage therapy school too. Did you also learn something similar?
Another really funny thing, like Jen and I have massage school in common. And like it literally, you guys, as we talk, the list will go on and on
I
about
know.
how many ways Jen and I are intersected
So funny.
and why we love each other so much. Yeah, of course, I was taught that as well. And I was really
Yeah.
grateful that I was able to learn. I learned some qigong from my uncle prior
Mhm.
to massage school, and then so I really learned how to move energy and
Yeah.
not have it be from me. It was
Right.
through me, and then
Yeah.
that coincides with Center for Spiritual Living, which teaches in me as me, in me through me as me, in me as,
Right.
and energy, the flow of it, and not, and then so when that's happening, even if you are receiving energy from someone else, as long as you can be a conduit that knows how to then ground that into Mother Earth, who can take everything and transform it into something beautiful. That is the part I learned. So more than like the protection of myself and the bubble,
Uh-huh.
my teaching or learning was more of a like moving the energy,
Mm-hmm.
giving it, like I said, when you give your energy can be created but never destroyed. And
Right.
so when there's an energy between you and someone, or you're receiving it from them, if you have the just the awareness, it doesn't even, like, I think people make it complicated. Like,
So
oh, I have to
complicated.
do something now with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just even the awareness that, oh, I can move this energy and I can give it to Mother Nature. I can give it
Yeah.
to Mother Earth. I can give it to universe. And that can be alchemized into something
Mm-hmm.
beautiful that's needed in the world instead of
Yes.
losing it in me.
Yes, I love that. And for me, it was just that protection at first. I couldn't even comprehend that part yet. I hadn't gotten to the part where I figured out that it was all just energy. At first, I was like, what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. This is a new miracle for me in my life, right? Like I really didn't know. I didn't have any boundaries. I mean, and it wasn't that my parents didn't give us boundaries, but I didn't recognize how to really manage them. And so having that tool where I was like able to start to recognize that I am my own sovereign being that has their own energetic boundaries, that was like an amazing first step. And then to start to learn that I could move energy, like, ooh, miracle, right? It's like
We're almost
so
like opposite
amazing.
then in that way, because like I knew about, here's the funny part, what I'm saying is, we know something and we learn something, but then to fully embody and understand it to its capacity
Mm-hmm.
is never done. We're always learning, right? So
Totally.
even though I knew like I could move energy and the energy didn't have to stay within me,
Uh-huh.
I knew that and I worked in that way. However, to
You'd
learn
still take it
boundaries,
on.
to actually to embody that, and then to that was specifically when I was doing body work.
Uh-huh. Right.
There's Here it is in this container, but out in my
So it
real
was like a
life,
little like spot for you. You could do it
right?
here,
Let
but
me move
then
it there. But when I'm in my real life, boundaries
uh-huh.
were a very long lesson learned for me as well. I'm still learning. So,
Yes.
whole other story. Yeah, not I have not I did not back then in massage school master boundaries with energy. I just knew how to move it a little bit.
Right. I love it though, because that's the beginning, right? It's
Yeah.
like you have to start somewhere. And when you start somewhere, then you have like a path. You have a path to walk, right? Even if it's a spiral, which it always is. Okay, everyone, it always is.
And we
Hi,
can pick up little
Chantel.
treasures on the path along the way that add to that information as we go.
Totally.
And then like cut away ones we don't, right? Yeah.
So is Sophia your niece? Is that correct?
Yes, it's my
So
niece.
she says the term empathy has become sort of a loaded term for her lately. I have been highly empathic throughout my life, and I have come to understand that how it coincides with trauma. Yes, exactly. I believe as I become more conscious, I am transitioning into the healed empath realm. Beautiful. It's been a journey, and I am leaning into my growth. I am grateful for your words right now. I love this. Okay, so this is the whole spiel that I gave to the group yesterday, and then again just in a Voxer just like a half an hour ago, right before I got on with you, which is that when we are an unhealed empath, it frequently stems from being in a home or in an environment where you have to try to manage someone else's emotions and behavior. Okay, so I love my dad so much. We have a very healed relationship. We really didn't have that when I was young. And so I always felt like I had to figure out where he was at, how he was feeling. He would come home from work, he would be mad about something, and I would have to learn how to manage it, right? So I learned how to people please. I learned how to caretake. I learned how to hide when it wasn't like when it was like not a nice space to be in, right? I would like run off to my bedroom. And I learned how to manage people's behaviors. And I believe that that is really a large part of why we become this empathic being or this highly intuitive being. I think that probably some of it's just a natural thing that we're born with. And then a lot of it is learned behavior, right? So
Yeah.
then when I went through this experience like of learning how to manage my boundaries, and this is something I actually learned, this language specifically I learned from Chantel, which she's on the live right now. was how to become your own boundary. Like, I am the boundary. Not just that I have boundaries around me, but my values, my own alignment is the boundary. And I just love how she said that. So I
I
always
love
give
that.
her
Yeah.
credit, was that I am the boundary. I get to be the boundary. And so now when I walk into the world, or when I'm home, or whatever it is, I don't have to take on I don't have to like overly protect myself anymore. And I am in alignment. I am my own boundary. I don't take on emotions from people anymore. And it's been a path. It's been a road for me. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, I am the motherfucking boundary. That's right.
Right. Yes, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I love Jen. You and I had also had a conversation, and probably was stemmed from what Chantel taught, but that
Mhm.
was just that that when you are so in that power, in your own power,
Mhm. Yes.
it's not even about, you already said this, I'm just, I guess, reiterating.
Yeah.
It's not even about needing to deflect anything. It's that
Mhm.
that is not even attracted to you. Take it a step further, that
Exactly.
that energy
Yes.
isn't allowed to be even attracted to you, because you are the boundary, and that's so in your power, and that you just reverberate that out so far
Yeah.
out that nothing even wants to penetrate your
Yeah.
energy to be attracted to you. That's nothing other than love and what you invite in. And
Yeah.
so, you know, yeah, I just wanted
And
to.
that's vibration, and that's
Yeah.
frequency, right? And that is the work that we really do, right? This is our real work, is to become so aligned with who you really are, to become so aligned with your highest and best self, or
Yeah.
just your highest self, right? Like with source energy, I am one with the multidimensional being that I really am. When I recognize that that's my truth, and I am in alignment with that, and I feel in alignment, I am at that highest frequency that I can be at in this human body. And then yeah, like I just am living my life. And like, really, those things don't even come into my world anymore. They don't
Right.
really come into my realm anymore. Those sorts of experiences aren't invited.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not invited to this party, yo.
Invited.
You had written something like that this morning in our Thrive and Prosper group. You said, the more I become aligned with myself, the more, I can't remember the
I
rest
think it
of
was just the more I thrive and prosper.
the more I
Yeah.
thrive. And well, imagine that. That would be perfect for Thrive and Prosper.
I know, I was like really going for it.
And that's the truth. And it's not that, and I do also really want to say, like, because we can should on ourselves, or we can like
Mhm.
feel bad when we're experiencing something, like someone has penetrated that force field or whatever. Oh, we're not doing it right, or we're not strong
Mhm.
enough. And that's another point of like opportunity for self-compassion and
Mhm.
self-love, is because we're in a process, and we're always, it's a daily, I love coming back to that phrase, it's a practice, it's a daily
Mhm.
practice, because we're meant to experience things. We are human, as much as we want to like be the ethereal parts of ourselves, because it just feels so free and lovely and light in that space. But we are human, and we're meant to be human, and we're meant to have
Yeah.
this experience. I love this one thing a psychic had said at one point. We are, I'm sure you've all heard this at this point, but at that point I'd never heard it this way. We are all, the thing, we're all spirits having a human experience, but
Mhm.
earth is our school.
Yeah.
Earth is the school for the spirit, the soul. And so
Right.
as we're learning and being human, like the self-compassion and self-love, and the looking at it subjectively, the experiences we have are there to learn, and that we are learning through it and growing through it. And it's okay that things still come in, that you're like, wait, I thought I was really good at this thing. I thought I was in my power, and I thought I was the boundary. And I still had this experience. What am I doing wrong? We can go to that so easily.
Right, because we're not perfect and we're not meant to be,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
We're not meant to be perfect. If we were perfect and we were already like, then we would ascend.
Ascend. Yeah. It's like, I'm okay with being imperfect, because I have a lot more to do on this earth, and I'd like to stay alive for
Yeah.
a little bit longer at least.
Yeah, and also, like, we're here to support and help people, and also, as we evolve and do this work and be in this world, like, there are so many people who are so good in this spiritual world, and I'm not gonna bash the spiritual world. I
No,
love this
virtual.
realm. I love this experience. Well, I see a lot of people doing that online. Um,
Mm,
and I love this community that we're in, and I feel like it is so important, the work that we do here. And so we're supposed to be here. We're supposed to be here to all rise together. Like you and I had that whole conversation on
mm,
Voxer the other day
I love that.
about rising together. Like I believe that with all of my heart and soul, every cell of my body, we're all going together. Like this is the work that we're here to do, is
Yes.
to move to 5D, but to do it as we bring people with us. Like that's what
Arm
it's
in
all
arm,
about.
hand in hand.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that. That's something Jen and I love this about our relationship, that we see each other really clearly, and you'll confirm with me and I'll confirm with you that when there's something messy happening in the world or
Mhm.
between friendships or business stuff,
Mhm.
that we'll be able to vent that to one another
Yeah.
in an honest way and then confirm with one another how I know your heart. And I know one thing we talked about the other day was just that there have been people in our path who haven't
Yeah.
um, been very, they're not in the space of their business or whatnot of wanting to bring people along,
Mhm.
and how
Yep.
I completely, ultimately, deeply trust in your who you are in your heart. It's so evident that you are here to take everyone along with you. You
Right.
are here, and we don't look we look side to side at our
Yes.
people, not down or
Not
above.
up
Like
or
it is
down.
all, we're here to do this together, to ascend
Yeah.
together, to evolve, to learn, to fuck up.
That's right.
And
Yes.
I love that about you, Jen, like deeply. It's so you don't even have to explain that to people because that is your vibration. And
Thank
that's
you.
something that is attractive.
Ditto. I agree. Thank you. I see that
Yeah.
in you as well. And I appreciate that reflection so dearly. I really love that. So I want to talk about You Are the Project, because you had sort of talked about that, like another client experience that you had. Can we
Yeah.
go there for a little while? Because we both
Well,
had something similar
of
with
course.
that
Yeah.
languaging, basically.
So we're trying to, I was like trying to let them in, let people who are watching, let them in a little bit on conversations Jen and I have outside
Mhm.
of here because they're always just so, I'm like, we should just record this conversation and
Right.
broadcast it because
Totally.
what did we just say? That was how, wow, that was amazing. And then we come on live and I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trusting it'll come through again
You're
or
trusting
something
that it
different.
will come through. It's going to come through, Jen.
It always does. Yeah. And so we were saying the synchronicity of things Jen was just talking about yesterday within group and in clients. And then I was like, are you kidding me? Because this is what happened with my client.
Yep.
And it was really clear was that she struggles with, she had COVID and she
Mm.
struggled really hard with having to step back, being forced to step back
Mhm.
from go, 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 and being there for her clients and being there for her world, and there was fears that would mean people would fall away or not
Mhm.
trust that she was reliable, that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So I am an EFT tapping coach, but I also channel things, and a lot of things are just through conversation, and we come to aha moments, and then we tap it out. And so during the conversation, it was just so clear that what was needed to be heard by both of us, because I know Jen will relate that when you are someone who is coaching another person, messages always come through that help you too. It is always healing me when
Yeah.
I'm helping others to see things.
Yeah.
And so it was very clear. At first, I was like, oh, is this queen energy? Like, be the queen. Like, you just pamper yourself, nurture yourself,
Mhm.
spoil yourself. And then I was like, no, it's not queen energy. It's oracle energy.
Mhm.
And if you think of the oracle, people will come far and wide to come to the oracle.
Mhm.
And I think oracles are typically female I don't know if it needs to be gender specific, but I'm saying her for now. But they would come far and wide for her information. And
Mhm.
her sole purpose was to be this energy that people could come to get
Mhm.
this valuable, vital information.
Yeah.
And so if you think of that type of a being, that being's only existence is to nurture themselves,
Yeah.
is to care for themselves, is to make sure they're fully in their energy and in their power and in their alignment, Jen, and clear.
Right.
So that comes through taking care. That comes through sleep. Take 5 naps a day if that's what your body's telling you need to do.
Absolutely.
You're
Yes.
giving, you're giving, you're giving, you're giving, you're channeling, you're a source of energy and you're a source of information and a light. People are also drawn to that just because it's beautiful and it's attractive and people want it.
The magnetism, right?
The magnetism. So your sole job is to take care of yourself and I know we all hear, put yourself first, fill your cup first, right? That's what that means. Like, so fully, like, just honor exactly what your body is asking of you and don't ask why. Don't should on yourself. And if you need to stay, like I just said to Jen earlier, I haven't gone and seen my mom in a couple weeks, and I usually see her once a week at least. And I've been like, I just need to be home right now. I don't know why. And I'm just honoring that. I'm just being in that. And it's filling me up because obviously I was either recently a lot was being pulled from me, or I'm about to get a lot pulled from me. Sometimes it's not regrouping from what you already did. Sometimes your body's like, I feel this something's coming and you need to rest up for this journey.
Yeah.
So
winter is coming.
Winter is coming, Jon Snow.
Fall and winter are coming.
Rations. Yeah.
We have to take care of ourselves. I agree with you. I couldn't agree more. And I listened to something the other day that said, you are the project. And I feel like that's really, I mean, this is what we are. This is what we share. This is how we have to treat ourselves. But it's really why we're all here on this planet, is to evolve. That's why we're on the planet, is to evolve. Our multidimensional being says, evolve, expand, grow. That is why we're all doing this. At least that's what I think, right? And so when you say, like, you are the oracle, you are the project, you are it. When you prioritize your own energy, right? That is like language that we use in Mastering the Brain Game. PETA, prioritize your energy and then take action. If you're taking action from an empty space, when you're taking action from a space of I have to, or I should, to use that language that you're using, it doesn't turn out right. The alignment isn't there. The energy is not there. And that might work for you for a little while, but it'll eventually catch up to you, don't you think?
Yeah, and also it can be really easy to slip into martyrism.
Yes.
Should throw that one out there too.
I was really good at that one.
Oh, I have been too.
I'm like, that was one of my fortes.
I will check myself still sometimes. You got to check it.
You do. You got to
check it. What is this all about? Why am I feeling martyrism?
We say you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
You got to check yourself.
You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay. Now that started off as a potty thing, but really, like, it actually is like an energy.
Check it, girl.
Check it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sophia says, I was just laying. I love you, Sophia. I'm so glad that you're here with us. Thank you for really bringing all of this to the table.
Sophie's a magic.
I was just laying down for a nap and checked updates before turning my phone off and saw that you guys were doing this. I took that to mean that listening and connecting is my recharge. Oh, yeah, you totally connect with this Oracle energy business. Yes. Codependency, a big concept that totally ties into this as well. Oh, yeah, baby.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Codependency. That's another great topic for another day. Don't you think, Jen?
Yes, 100%. We've been in yeah.
You're like,
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. And on that note, I think that we will wrap this little podcast up. And thank you all for joining us today. Thank you so much. If you've been watching and you enjoyed this, let somebody know. If you have enjoyed this and you have a comment for us, we would love to hear from you. If you have questions or ideas that you'd love for us to talk about, we would also love to hear from you. So all the things, we love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Jen, any last words?
You covered it. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. I love you, Jen.
I
And
love you
I'm
too.
loving this podcast so far too.
Yay. Mwah. See you guys very soon.